Everyone is hype over the new Pokemon anime intro because look at that. Ash is really saying, I had to wait over 20 years to become champion. That's not enough. I'm doing it again. And his team seriously looks badass. And he's almost out there cheating with Dynamax, Mega Evolution, and Z moves. Things are getting pretty crazy with the already insane Pokemon Journeys anime. But that made me think, is this Ash's best team? Because on the surface, I want to say yes, but let's take a dive into his Pokemon. So if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like, share with your friends, and comment your thoughts down below. Now, initially, my next thought is, I think the only team that could compete would be Generation 6, because once again, we have like a lot of strong Pokemon. 2 Dragon types, one of them being a pseudo-legendary Pokemon. Hawlucha just seems like a cheesy Pokemon in general when it comes to anime. And that's also where the discussion gets kind of weird, because this isn't like a translation between video games and the anime directly. I don't want to put too much on the Pokemon's personalities, because sometimes it's like a strength or a severe weakness, except for Charizard, because that's just dumb. And then we have other like really strong Pokemon like Talonflame. His Greninja was cracked, and really it feels like the only person that could beat Ash ended up beating him. But I'm not going to use that to take away from the strength of his team, because we're just trying to see like, okay, how strong is this team compared to the other generations? Generation 7, also a weird team to think about, because the finals versus Gladion was a 3v3, and overall this was his team, plus Naganadel, which he ended up releasing, and it's hard to kind of figure out how strong it is, because like we have Melmetal, we just have like a crazy mythical Pokemon that just beats you down through pure strength. Rowlet's not evolved and did have its struggles with that. Pikachu just got like super strong with the Z moves. He had a, oh man, what's it called? Litleo? No, not Litleo. He had a Torracat that ended up being Incineroar. Incineroar, pretty brawny Pokemon. And then Midnight Lycanroc, a special Lycanroc form. I don't really feel like this was a very strong team for Ash, because the way he ended up winning the finals was very cheesy. Counter the counter! That's just some anime, you know, plot armor BS, and just looking at that, like, yeah, that doesn't look as crazy as this team. And this team, I feel like, was really built from an anime, like, developer perspective to make everyone think Ash wins it this time. And we all know how that went. But yeah, like, he was set up to have the strongest team, and then I feel like it went back just a little bit for the generations after that. But what about the other teams? Well, that's where things start getting awkward, because it's really only the recent generations where Ash had like a very finalized, obvious team. For the other generations, he would kind of like swap out Pokemon throughout the entirety of the league, and, you know, kind of figuring out where his signature Pokemon went gets a bit more cloudy. Like, he didn't bring Crocodile to his final battle in the Unova League, and his overall team just didn't end up looking that great. Like, okay, he has a Boldore, some of the starter Pokemon, or actually all of the starter Pokemon, his Pikachu, and then Unfezant. That's not a great team. Some of the other things also kind of get weird. Like Generation 4, he had some stacked Pokemon, but the team he ended up bringing against Tobias definitely didn't feel like the best. Now, Tobias was super unfair, ended up taking the entire league anyways and becoming champion. No one knows what other Pokemon you have. When you have Darkrai and Latios, was that man actually holding on to Dialga or Palkia at that point? Who even knows? He probably didn't even need to show it to end up becoming champion. So, except for the error right here, this is supposed to be his Torkoal. I mean, like, why does Ash keep bringing out the Torkoal? I don't like it. I think his Heracross was a weak point as well. The Gible could be pretty strong. Sceptile, definitely a really strong Pokemon. And then it's like, yeah, for Generation 4, he ended up using a lot of Pokemon from the past. A lot of fan service right there. But the fan service really ended up hurting, like, what his team could have accomplished. Because, like, Staraptor's really strong. Torterra's an evolved starter Pokemon, which is just going to be really good. Weasel, that thing was actually pretty baller, and yeah, Infernape, like, that's his team. That team's really good. Maybe it would have gotten further, maybe, like, he would have plot armored it, but obviously the show designers did not want Ash to express his full potential, but still, like, a really strong team, and maybe this is the one we take into consideration. You can't really, like, get rid of Weasel and then put in, I was, like, thinking, like, how else do we mix this up? Do we, like, take out Weasel, put in Sceptile, but then we got, like, 2 Grass-type Pokemon, that feels kind of awkward. I don't know, it's messy at this point, and that's where things kind of get problematic. Hoenn, kind of the same deal. This was the team he ended up using in the finals. Again, that Torkoal, or not the finals. Yeah, this is like the team he used in the league. He's got some strong points right there because, okay, we got Swellow. That's good. Glalie, in terms of the anime, yeah, that thing just wrecks you on freezes. The Corphish, just, I think that was like a pre-evolution crutch right there. And then, yeah, his Sceptile was just a strong Pokemon. And when it was Grovyle, still also strong Pokemon. So, I don't know, but there's just something off. Like, you look at that compared to his current team, and you're just thinking, nah, don't really have much going for it. Johto is another mess where he had all kinds of Pokemon and ended up bringing kind of like all kinds of weird team stuff into it. He also ended up using Snorlax and his not a brat Charizard for this league, but it's like, okay, Totodile's alright. Bayleaf, pretty good, but not like the best, but you know, made it work. That Pokemon just loved Ash so much that you got a power boost right there. His Pikachu was still just being a Pikachu. But like Ash's modern Pikachu. Cracked, strong, ridiculous. So it's like, yeah, in this context, it's hard to figure things out. It's like, once again, Ash just kind of out there having fun. But when you also look at like the overall strength of other leagues like the Unova League, everyone's team was just kind of poopy there. So, you know, this did Ash alright. Even in like the earlier times, it wasn't about being just like a complete insane out of control baller. Looking at Ash's Kanto team, yeah, like the Charizard letting him down was kind of the only problem. His Squirtle pretty strong. We saw that Pokemon could put in work. Pikachu also pretty good. Tauros held it down. Snorlax, when it was awake, pretty much unstoppable. Then like his Kingler, like actually like, oh yeah, I'm bringing Kingler, and everyone lost their mind, and then it ended up winning it for him. And Ash's Bulbasaur really strong. Pidgeotto really strong. So he had like good Pokemon at least. Like you could look at his team here and be like, he had good Pokemon, and he was actually, the Charizard was just too strong. The Charizard was like the unstoppable god Pokemon to where it had to be nerfed in the lore. Alright, maybe something there, you know? But we can't forget about the Orange League. I feel like the Orange League was really the only time you could kind of sit there and see a definitive team from Kanto for Ash. And technically the first championship, I mean, pretty strong. So yeah, like his Lapras was really good. That Tauros pulled out some surprises, and then you got the starter Pokemon. For not like, and another thing about like his unevolved starters is we saw what he did in the Battle Pyramid later on. So I mean, he just had good Pokemon. So I think this is actually a really strong team from Ash. You can kind of look at this in a definitive way and go, yeah, really good. Maybe swap out Tauros for Snorlax, and Ash's Kanto team, one of his best when you really kind of break it down and think about it. So what does that mean in regards to like Ash's current team? Well, we've kind of like looked at a lot of stuff, and nothing holds a candle to Pseudo Legendary. And the way that like Lucario is represented, like Lucario is kind of like old school Arcanine in that it's almost legendary, like just a very high class special Pokemon. So ending up with that, okay, Gengar, again, just like such an elusive ghost Pokemon that should be impossible to obtain and impossible to do anything about in most regards. So Gengar's incredibly strong. Sirfetch'd kind of just seems like the weakest link, but plot armor buff on the Pokemon where it's like, yeah, Sirfetch'd is special enough to where it can just destroy anything. And then we have, also that's a Gigantamax Gengar, so that makes it even more special. Pikachu's got this crazy Z power, and then a fossil Pokemon. So like, Ash's team is stacked more than we've ever seen and more than we can ever imagine. And even though it just kind of seems like really cheesy and easy and free to go, yep, this is Ash's best team ever. You know, Kalos kind of close. GG easy. This is the ultimate like Pokemon journey with the anime, especially when you look at like what Go is doing, just encountering legendary mythical Pokemon all the time. Caught Suicune, caught Eternatus. Okay, that's just crazy. So if you thought that there was anything special about like the last couple of seasons, we're like, ooh, Ash's Kalos team getting, you know, plot armor Greninja and also just all kinds of other really cool stuff for his team, and even going into Generation 7, setting up to become a Alola champion. A lot of really good and cool things happening. Pokemon Journey is like, nah, this is like the best Pokemon anime ever. And we can also see like Go has just caught so many Pokemon that there's no rules. There's no limits to this one. So that's definitely being reflected inside of Ash's team. And when you see that, it's like, yeah, best team. Will he beat Leon? Is it going to be another, like, oh man, you know, could have gotten it, but Kalos, again, he already got in Alola, so I guess we should be happy regardless? Or is this, like, the way that the anime is setting up, the way that the whole, like, League and Master Tier and Battle Point thing is happening, like, it's hard to guess, which actually makes this series a lot more interesting from the standpoint, even with a team like this, because Leon is also insane as well. So, as for if he'll become champion with his best team, I don't know. If I was going to rate them, it's kind of hard because this isn't, like, I didn't want to do this video like, oh, Ash's team, best teams in order. But I feel like, yeah, best team right here. If we look at Kalos, that's a very, very strong team as well. But after that, I really want to say, like, Kanto. And, you know, it's like, it's just one of those things because, like, modern Pokemon designs and also, like, the deliberance of making Ash's team kind of get set up to be like, oh, he's going to win it, and then doesn't. It's kind of tricky, but yeah, I would definitely consider Ash's Kanto team better than his Alolan team, even with, like, modern creep and, like, modern thoughts and stuff, and potentially on par with his Kalos team, because even though, like, Ash had strong Pokemon looking, they weren't, like, the strongest. Even though these weren't the strongest looking Pokemon, they were, like, the strongest of their species for the region, because Ash trained them incredibly well. The Kalos team I didn't think was as well trained. So, we got some weirdness overall, but yeah, like, this is really cool. This is really fun. This is like, ooh, Pokemon is hype again, and that's great, especially following up like Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. So, the Pokemon Company, really not missing anything except for Pokemon Legends Arceus, but it's looking pretty good. Hope you guys enjoy this discussion. Comment your thoughts down below, leave a like, share, all that cool stuff. Hope you guys enjoy the video. Hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.